Hi, CMattDye here. Thanks for stopping by and checking out today's video. Today we're going over the top 5 CNFT projects of the week. And let's get into it. Let's start with volume. And wait for this to come up. And here we are. Volume has been dismal. There's been a lot of fudding of Cardano lately. A lot of it from other blockchains. Some of it from the actual community. Some of it from actual project founders. That is really weird to me, but it has been happening. There's been a lot of misinformation as well, talking about a lot of wash sales on Cardano. Wash sales have been around for a very, very long time. The first few in history that I have found probably around the 1800s. Did it happen prior to that? I'm 100% sure it did, yes. In the traditional markets, that's something that's been outlawed, but in the NFT space, it hasn't been outlawed because there is no regulation. Hence, that's why some of it is around, but does it happen prevalently right now in this bear market? No, there's no way. But anyway, just a lot of fun, a lot of misinformation. So just be aware of everything that's out there and what you're paying attention to. So anyway, let's get into the volume of the markets. Volume's down, trades are down, NFTs sold are down. This is over the last 24 hours, which isn't really a good barometer, but we talk about it nonetheless. Week over week is a better barometer, and you can see volume is down quite a bit. Trades and NFTs sold are also down, which makes sense. Month over month, you can see that everything is also down, but it's not really that bad. So looking at overall volume, you can see we did get these spikes over here, which was kind of nice. Little spikes over here, which was also nice, and you can see the volume is just kind of there. That's totally okay in a bear market. You're going to get your pockets of large volume, you're going to get your pockets of small volume, and that's totally okay. Right now, I think people are on the sidelines just waiting, watching to see what is actually going to happen with the CNFT space. I think as far as the charts are concerned with actual crypto, we're looking okay. The overall market is looking fine. I don't think we're going to see a dramatic fall to all-time new lows this week, next week. I think that we're going to be good for a little while. So it's just watching this and seeing what's going to play out. So let's get into the top 5. So we can see here on number 1 is Ape Society. Number 2 is Chilled Kongs. Number 3 is Clay Nation. Number 4, Goombles. Number 5, SpaceBudz. Most of those are larger, more established projects. Ape Society, Chilled Kongs. Chilled Kongs had a drop recently, and a lot of people did step in and buy it up. There's a lot of big whales in Chilled Kongs, also in Ape Society and Clay Nation. Also SpaceBudz. Goombles, there's probably some whales. I'll look at that when we get to it. Number 6, Alley Cats. 7 by Cabins by Ape Society, Cornucopias, Pavia, Raving Ravens, Clay Nation, Good Charlotte, Mallard Ori Mob, Stag Alliance, then Cornucopias again with their domes, Mutants, Jelly Cubes, Mycephia. So, we have some large names on the list, which is good. People are in the CNFT space. They are looking for deals, and they're trying to own quality projects, whether that be an established project or a new project. They're wanting to own quality projects, and that's all the time. Everybody wants to own quality projects. So saying that it's happening now, we can see by the numbers that people want to own the more established qualities. But Goombles, they just mentioned recently, Alley Cats isn't that old of a project. So, people are trying to find value in what they actually see. So let's get into it. Ape Society is the first one. Floor right now is 86.33. Have pretty good holder to minted numbers, 250,000 all-time high sell. And you can see here it is going in this range. It did find some resistance up here. Is it going to push through it? Is it not? We'll have to wait and see. But I do think that it's in a large range and it's going to stay there for a little while. At least that's my expectation. If we scroll down here, you can see the top 5 holders are very large. So you have some really big holders in the project. So that's Ape Society. Also, Ape Society is coming out with mint, I think it's this month, called COTIS. It's some kind of cross-chain thing that they're doing. I have heard a little bit of disgruntled apes saying that they are not able to get a whitelist. I was told that as long as you owned an ape, you can connect your wallet and get access to that mint. So if any of you are watching this video and you hear that, go by their site and ask that particular question and see if that is legit, but I would expect it to be so. So next, let's jump into chilled Kongs. Floor price right now is $12.80, 135,000 all-time high sell. Holders to supply pretty decent. And if we scroll down here, you can see they did have a drop over here in February. That's pretty crazy. And then they had a drop recently. I woke up to seeing it around 800, and then you can see people did step in and start buying it up. Chilled Kongs, there's a lot going for the project, but they're really having trouble getting out their mushroom mint, and that's why I brought up the other couple weeks ago on Twitter the question, are they a slow rug? I'm not trying to FUD the project. I'm just trying to get some conversation going. I know it's a strong project. I'm a fan of the project. I don't own, nor have I ever owned, well, a long time ago I flipped some, but not at the mint, but I got some of 500 in when it ran up. So I think it was, had to have been over here. I picked some up and then sold into this move. Yeah, it would have been great to catch the top, but rarely do I catch the all-time bottom or the all-time top, because that doesn't matter. You just want to be able to make a little bit. So that was my chilled Kongs play, and then from here I just haven't really gotten in again. Thought about it, but just haven't. And here we are. So a lot of the larger wallets, I assume, were in this buying. I didn't really research it, but that's what I would assume. You can see the top 5 holders. There's some big holders in this project, and they do a lot of good stuff. They have a strong community. So that was very interesting to see at 800 and then just stepping in, buying it up. So just paper hands trying to get liquidity is what I'm thinking, and they probably owned it for a while. But people were trying to find liquidity in this market, so they're trying to sell some projects and keep others. That was very interesting. But I think chilled Kongs, this buy here was strong, this buy here is strong. Is it going to go higher? I would think so, yes. I would think we found the floor. This got bought up really quickly, this got bought up really quickly. So they're trying to stay over that 1,000 price, mostly over that 1,200. So that's kind of fun to see. This one, we'll see what happens. But I think that 1150, 1100, 1200 floor is really turning into something right now. And then eventually in a few months, we can see this thing start to really get some momentum. So just based purely on the chart, it's looking really, really good. So that's what I'm looking at for chilled Kongs. Number 3, Clay Nation. Clay Nation right now is at a 29.90 floor. Clay Nation has been falling a little bit. Hearing about when they released their sandbox news, that some clays were a little disgruntled and sold a little bit. Now I don't know that for sure. That's speculation. That's a rumor. But I'll share it with you because that's what we're talking about. is speculation. So 100,000 all-time high sells really good. The holder to supply ratio is great. I think this is the best in the CNFT space, or at least the most holders anyway. So let's look at the price, and you can see the price is starting to come down a little bit. I'm keeping an eye on 2,900, and right now we're very, very close to that. Can clays drop below? I think they probably can. And that 2,500, maybe 2,000. I didn't foresee this a few weeks ago. I was thinking that it would probably hold around that 3,000, 2,500 area. But, you know, if it does come down, I think that would be a great opportunity to hop in. You can see here they have a lot of large holders, and clays are a different group. So Ape Society, Chilled Kongs, clays, I think clays are a different group. You have a lot of diamond handlers in clays. I've seen in clays you have a lot more creativity. You know, from my perspective, I'm speaking. So in clays you have a lot more creativity, free thinking, and you know, you have diamond hands. Do you have diamond hands in the first two that I talked about, Ape Society and Chilled Kongs? Of course you do. I'm just speaking about clays specifically here. So I'm watching this. If it did drop down to, you know, around 2,500, I would be a buyer anyway. If it went lower, it's a good time to continue being a buyer. I don't think the floor is just going to drop out of clays. There's too much going for them. And right now in this bear market, this is the time to really pick up some good deals and just hold them over. So that's what I'm looking at with clays. I think it's a great project. Let's go on to number 4, Goombles. Goombles is a 229 floor, currently 13,000 all-time high sell, which is pretty good. 1,446 holders out of 5,000. Now if we scroll down, it really hasn't found a floor yet. You know, you could argue this 205 area, you know, but it really hasn't found a floor yet in my opinion. Could this start to run up? It could, but it's not something I would anticipate just because I don't think it's really found a floor yet. You know, you have some larger holders, and for something that just minted recently, which was Feb 28th, for something that just minted recently, you know, you do have a decent amount of big holders here. If we look at the wallets and scroll down, so the top 20 own 19 or more, the top 19 own 20 or more, and you know, that's decent. That's decent. For me, this project was a total flip because I don't need more gaming NFTs, and you know, can they start a really quality merch line? I don't know. It's not easy to do that, and I don't have faith. But that's me personally. You have to decide for yourself. There are some large holders here. It hasn't found a floor, but it has steadily stayed over 200, and it has not touched 200. It got to 205. So is it doing well? Is price holding up? Yes. I don't think price has found a floor, but it is holding over 200, which is good, and it's been holding over that. So that's a good sign. And as long as that continues, which I don't see why it wouldn't, this is not a bad area to pick some up. Now if it did drop under 200, it hasn't found a floor yet. You kind of have to wait and see what happens. There's 1,003 listed right now with a supply of 5,000. So there's quite a bit listed at the moment. So it really just depends, like those listed, do they own multiple Goombles? Are they just trying to get out, and will they eventually start undercutting each other? That's really the question as to what is happening here. So that is Goombles, not in the project. You know, flipped some, and I'm happy with that. SpaceBudz, very quality project. The founder, Alessandro, does a lot of good stuff for the space. That's the creator of Nami Wallet, if you're not familiar. The floor price of SpaceBudz is 3,400, 510,000 all-time high sell. The holder to supply ratio is pretty good. And if we scroll down here, you can see that price has been coming down a little bit. So it jumped up here nearly 5,000 and then came up and tested that one more time, got rejection both times. Now it's moving down, but I would expect it to find a floor. I don't think it's going to get under 3,000, but you know, we'll have to wait and see. Right now it's pure speculation, but just the way this is coming down, I would expect it to stay over 3,000. If it got down under 3,000, that's when it becomes value, and you know, think about picking some up. I would. So if we go down here, a lot of large holders, and top 5 own 131 or more. Like, you just have a lot of diamond handers and SpaceBudz, and a lot of these guys minted SpaceBudz. A lot of these big wallets minted SpaceBudz, and they're just huge. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it would stay over 3,000. Now, if it gets below 3,000, we have to wait and see where that floor actually becomes. But anywhere between 2,000 and 2,500, I think is a great deal. I think people are going to start scooping them up. You know, because it really can't go too much lower than that, I would think. But with the markets, once we do have a downtrend, you have to throw rationality out the window. Uptrend is the same way though. If there's a massive uptrend, you throw rationality out the window. If you as far as uptrend, if you look at like the 1990 tech bubble here in the US, you know, a lot of those things were super irrational. You know, there was no value to be had. And then, you know, pick your crisis, you know, pick your massive down market, you know, rationality goes out the window. With the CNFT space, you don't really have too much of that, but you do have a little bit of that. So, like, I guess over here, you could argue that this was a little bit irrational. Price comes down below 3,000, people buy it. Now, where are we at? And that's why I'm thinking that 2,500, 3,000 would be a value spot. Ideally, it would stay over 3,000. So that's my thought on SpaceBudz. You know, have to see one of those to be found, and that's what I am watching for. So what have I done this past week? Not really that much, actually. You know, I've accumulated a little bit more puck chips. I'm excited for their poker platform, so that's what I'm looking into. We did a little bit. I did a little bit more spaces with Alpha Surfers. Alpha Surfers is coming along very, very well. We're looking at minting on the 23rd, and we changed our mint price a little bit to kind of be different. You know, our modus operandi is to be a little bit different. We don't want to be like everyone else, and we want to bring as much value to our community as possible. And I know every project says that, but right now we're doing that through doing aided data aggregation. So like all the announcements from the large channels are going to be in our Discord. So we want to make it a one-stop shop. Come into our Discord, you can check out all the project announcements, and then you can go to the Discords that you like. Like for me, I'm in 100 Discords. You know, I check the announcements, and I can see what's happening. And I go to 4 Discords predominantly per day. So I go to, you know, each 4 Discords. That's usually the ones I hang out in, and then maybe I go to a different one day just because there's a certain announcement I want to check it out. So it helps with that. Of course, we are an alpha group right now, and then after we mint, we're going to start building our education hub. I'm super excited about that. I think that at the end of this year, we will have multiple income streams. That's my goal. Anything less, I will be very unhappy. I'm a guy that likes to challenge myself, but I'm very humble. So when I reach a goal, I'm not gonna go tell everybody. You know, that's not how I roll. I like to reach it for myself, just because it's a challenge. I love to challenge myself, and I think that's one of the spices of life. We challenge ourselves, we learn, we grow. Of course, we make mistakes. The more successful you are, the more mistakes you're going to make. That's just life. But you learn from your mistakes, and that's what separates someone who is more successful than someone who's not. So, but anyway, that's what we're looking into. If you're interested at all in the project, I encourage you to get in the Discord and ask questions. We're an open book. We love to answer questions. I love to answer questions. If it's about the project, most likely I have an answer. If it's about something else, if I don't know the answer, I can find it. That's one of the things I do. So that's kind of what I've been up to lately. Just accumulating bug chips and talking about alpha servers. So I haven't really been buying and selling much, so not really a lot to talk about there. Actually, I haven't bought and sold anything, which is not like me, but it is what it is. I've mostly just been trading. The market's been awesome, and that's mostly where I've been dedicating my time to, outside of CNFTs. With that, there's a couple of mints coming up, but I talked about them before. So Goofy Gopher Mining Club is minting on the 28th, I believe they said. Kind of unsure if I really do want to mint that one. I'm going to be watching the floor and see what happens, and maybe I go in small, maybe I don't mint at all. Stag Alliance on the 22nd. I'm gonna watch that one. I don't know if I'm gonna mint it, but I'm gonna watch it, and if it looks like it's doing well, I'm gonna go ahead and mint. I have some whitelist, so that's how I'm gonna play that one. Pond, I 100% want to mint. I'm just waiting for them to disclose what's going on. And then at Astrium, I do want to mint that one. I'm going to have them in our space on the 31st. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I had them scheduled last week, but there's a massive time difference between me and them, and they fell asleep. It was not a good time for them, so we rescheduled. I told them no worries, because I like the project and there are some good people over there. So I told them no worries, let's reschedule and get a chat, because I think it'll be a lot of fun, and it'll be a lot of fun for the community as well. At least that's what I believe. So other than that, we're minting on the 23rd of March. The 23rd of March at 3:23 p.m. I'm a big math nerd, so that's why I picked that number. It's fun for me, I guess, fun in numbers. Our supply is going to be 1129, and we're minting for 79 ADA. Those two numbers are both prime numbers. I think it's great. And then in the overall supply, which is 3427, we're going to be minting the rest like after fall, so it's going to be a while. We're just minting the initial part so we can get our education hub off the ground, and then our next mint is what we're going to be using for our treasury. We're going to grow the treasury and just skyrocket from there. That's the goal. It takes a lot to build a project, and we feel that the priority is getting that education hub off the ground. That way we can show everyone, hey, we built this in very little time. We're doing things, and we're building an income stream into it. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and it will give us proof of concept. So I'm definitely excited about that. The link is going to be down below. With that, if you have any projects you want me to cover outside of this update, let me know down below. I would love to take a look. With that, thanks for watching. Appreciate your time today. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you around the markets. Take care.